So the last couple of stitches on the chain stitching section here are more for use with a sewing yarn, but I don't think I'll be able to get it through this fabric, so I'm going to stick with what I've got. So this is a heavy chain stitch. So you start with a single normal stitch, like that, and then come down one stitch length, and loop behind that one stitch, like that. Now you're coming quite close to these stitches, to these lines. So this is normally a little thinner than it needs to be, so each stitch now you run through the stitch before. So this is kind of a reverse chain stitch, whereas instead of catching the stitch as you go, you're laying the stitch down and then catching it. So you come through, you can't see, can you see? Possibly, bring you in a little closer. So you come through below and run your stitch behind the previous. That's the heavy stitch intended for use with embroidery yarn rather than embroidery floss, but then it still works quite well with this stuff anyway. And this creates a really quite 3D and quite pronounced chain, like that. So, Hungarian braid, you start off like that. Okay, and moving on to the last stitch here, which again is a heavy thread. It's for I think crewel yarn, things like that, or just using wool. So again, you're starting with, you can't see, you're starting with a single stitch. Creating your first loop, and then creating a second loop, going back through the first. So it's the same sort of stitch, but you're going a lot wider with your loops. So here you come back through 2 stitches behind, so you end up with a much wider, denser chain. This one's a Hungarian braided stitch. Right there. Oh, too far up. There. So it's basically the same. You can see the difference in thickness you get from each of these as you go down. So this is around about double the thickness of that. So these are all the basic chain stitches.